On your mark, get set, go.
Good evening, and welcome to On Your Mark, Get Set, Go. Let's get started.
Get set, go. On your mark, 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 get set, let's go. Let's go. On your mark, get set, go. On your mark, get set, let's go. Let's go. On your mark, get set, go. On your mark, get set, let's go. Let's go. On your mark, get set, go. On your mark, get set, let's go. I'm about to do what really should have been done. You asked me for the GME, watch out, here I come. I see my people playing with their lives, that's absurd. I hate to see my people bleeding down on the curb. Ain't you disturbed? Don't pull no liquor for the dead. If you concur, put something different in your head. Your thoughts will be your actions. When you speak, you talking loud. If you choose the right direction, I suggest you walk now. Pow, it's over, ain't no coming back. You can breathe or you stop, brother, just like that. I'm only stating facts, bro. Control how you act, bro. Cause this life will give you just what you asked for. It's a situation, if you slipping, you will slide. Please pay attention, if you tripping, you will die. Keep pressing towards the mark, stay focused, never let go. Like I said, on your mark, get set, go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be catching this broadcast. I am your boy, Mano G, aka Manson McCann, you already know that. And this is On Your Mark, Get Set. This is my show right here on YouTube. It's my channel, Brother Mano McCann. And this show is designed to have people that are already going, who have set themselves a mark, who have set themselves up that's ready to go, and who have already left this plateau. And my very first guest right now, I'm proud to have him on my team right now and on this here. And if I'm gonna play it for you, y'all. I'm finna hit it for you in a second right here, y'all. This is Mr.
Caleb Foster.
Caleb Foster.
Caleb Foster. Caleb Foster. WDRJ.
That's what I'm talking about, man. How you doing, Mr. Foster?
I'm good, man. First off, I done interviewed you dozens of times.
Yeah.
I just appreciate that I get the first show. That's deep. You know what I'm saying? When somebody give you their first show, that means you somebody.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes,
So
yes.
I appreciate that, man.
Yes. You and I'm glad you said that. You know, you are somebody, because on the On Your Mark, Get Set, Go show, I try to find people who have set themselves in position to set a mark for themselves to where they know that they want to go. Then I find people who have already put themselves in position, so if they got their classes together, if they got their certificate and things of that nature, and then I find people who are already gone on their plateau, such as yourself. And you're not just on the go moment, you're actually gone.
Yeah.
Like I can't even catch up with you. Caleb, what's going on with you? You're not even 40 years old
No,
yet.
man, no. I started real early. You know, my radio career, I guess, started when I was 13. Shout out to Jay Butler. Wouldn't be nowhere without him.
That's
but,
right.
WQBH 1400 was the station in town. Martha Jean, the Queen station. Anybody knows Detroit knows that station. But they brought me in. They took me under their wings, and I was able to catch on to stuff so fast. They was like putting me in different spots. I don't know if they was doing an experiment or what, or they were just trying to get rid of me. But I was catching on so fast that I was in production one day, I was in traffic the next day, I was on air the next day, I was board up the next day, I was, with the GM the next day, and so I saw all of the different.
So you was able to take everything head on, no
Everything,
matter what,
everything,
no
yeah.
matter what they threw at you,
Yeah.
because you took it negatively as though they were trying to get rid of you.
Well, it's because you know this in being a producer. You want to be where the good stuff. I don't want to be in traffic. I was interested about traffic, not knowing that I was getting set up to own my own station. Where now I got to know what traffic is. I got to know, so it was really. God set me up. It was a real setup from day one. But yeah, it all started there, 13. That's when
Well, you have to understand this, and I want everybody to understand this, what we're talking about. Because even when he said that it appeared to him at some point that it seemed like that they was putting so much more on him that he was able to look at it and say, well, they're trying to get rid of me. But he didn't look at it from that standpoint to where it hurt his feelings. He took the feeling that it was, that he thought it was, and he said, guess what? I'm not going to allow that to break me down. So he learned how to do all of those things, ladies and gentlemen. He learned how to do traffic. And trust me, the very first time when I first got on the air and I had to do it at this man's station, and the very first time I tried to do traffic, I literally cried. And it wasn't because, it was not because I was scared. What it was the foam from the microphone had already grazed my eye.
Yeah.
So when TJ pointed at me, I was too busy trying to bat my eye, but I had to read. So I'm sitting there reading. It's gonna be 85. It's gonna be sunny. It's gonna be cloudy this day. And TJ telling me to buck up, son. I'm not afraid. It's just styrofoam in my eye. So I know what you're talking about, but that also transferred you even when you being a teenager at 13 years old.
Yeah.
You also went to Southfield and Lathrop, didn't you?
High. I went to Southfield High.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where I so what I did was I took everything that I was doing at QBH at the time, and I was applying it at Southfield High. So Southfield High had a radio station in the station. In the school, and so I took everything from there and then became program director out at Southfield High because I was out here with the vets already. I was with the big dogs, so I literally just took that and transferred it to Southfield High, and we turned that radio station around. We had a great crew there. A lot of notoriety came from that. I mean, we won NAB awards. I mean, we were getting tons of play, and that's when I knew, okay, this is my thing. This is what I'm gonna do.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned the MAB award because though that's for Michigan broadcasters, and they have one for students particularly, and that covers Southfield High School, that covers Specs Howard School broadcast where I actually graduated from. And since you brought that up, this is gonna be our very first break. I'm gonna let everybody hear a little snippet of what won me an MAB at Specs Howard when I interviewed my own pastor, and we'll come back right after this, y'all. Welcome to Spec Spotlight, a show that takes a look at interesting people in and around the Metro Detroit area. I'm Manson McCann, and my guest for this show is Pastor Damon Mosley of the Bethel Temple Baptist Church. I questioned the pastor on what role does the church play in helping people deal with the struggling economy, and he stated it's all about knowledge.
Since so many people do look to the church and look to their faith system to help them through times of crisis, I believe that we have to also, as churches, it's important that we are providing the necessary information and the needed information to help people to make sound decisions.
He also said that people look to the church for further inspiration.
Often when people come to church, they come with open minds, they come with attentive ears, and they're looking for hope, they're looking for help, they're looking for encouragement, but they also need the education and the awareness so that they can themselves make their days better and make their future brighter.
The pastor informed me that the help provided shouldn't stay confined to the church, but others should get involved as well.
Partner with other churches, have to partner with other groups, have to partner with agencies that are in the business for the purpose of meeting social needs. We can do more together than we ever could separately.
When I asked who was responsible for the help, he told me it's a clergy responsibility as well as a congregational one.
We cannot regulate that to one person or one particular group. It's all of our business, because the reality is that there are some problems and some issues that are so great in their scope and their nature that one person alone cannot meet every challenge.
He also told me why helping is so important.
Helping is everybody's business. And the reason helping is everybody's business is because everybody's going to need help at some point or another.
The pastor told me that help from the church is more than just a handout.
The church is not just about helping with crisis, but the church is a place where we can have our character constructed. And once the character is constructed, we'll be in a better position to deal with our own crisis.
In case you're just joining us, this is Spec Spotlight. I'm Manson McCann, and my guest for today's show is Pastor Damon Mosley of the Bethel Temple Baptist Church. We were discussing the economic crisis, and the pastor let me in on how someone could find out if a particular church is willing to help.
The people in the church are the best marketers, if you will, and the best advertisers of what's happening in a church and what's available in a church.
He went on to say that if you are a part of a church, you'll have the knowledge and direct access to the help.
You'll automatically know because of your connection with the church about what's available at the church. And the best thing probably when it comes to the church is to be inside of it and not outside.
When I asked what would make someone refuse to help, he told me some people just don't want to be held accountable.
One of the things that we do at the Bethel Temple Baptist Church is when persons solicit help from the church, particularly in a financial way, for example, there's a criteria. There are things that we ask. There are things that we want to know. Unlike the government, we don't just throw good money after bad.
For those who are not looking for help from the church, the pastor says get help wherever you can.
No man is an island unto him or herself. And even if a person thinks that they are, there's no limit to the number of harbors and bridges that you can build to connect to your island. The issue is you better find out who's in the harbor business and who's in the bridge business to help you get what you need to your island.
I'd like to thank Pastor Damon Mosley for being a guest on Spec Spotlight. Spec Spotlight is heard daily on this radio station and is a production of the students of the Specs Howard School of Broadcast Arts. I'm Manson McCann. Thanks for listening. All right, y'all. Well, I don't be wanting to get a little bit, ahead of myself sometimes, but at the same time, when I'm talking to somebody who's on the mark, who's getting set, and who's ready to go, I like to give a little bit of history of where they come from, and just to let you guys know where I come from as well. I want to let you know that I'm not just some guy that's just sitting here talking to you, that I have history as well. I have history in radio. I have 7-8 years. This is the man who actually gave me an opportunity. I'm a graduate of Specs Howard, but nonetheless, this show is not about me. I'm back with Mr. Caleb Foster,
yes, sir.
One of the youngest general managers, not just radio engineers, and I'm getting to that part right now as we move forward. You already reflecting on how you were when you were a young teenager, and how you transferred that knowledge and that wisdom and understanding over into the high school area. And I know for a fact, like, you weren't that much more out of high school when I first met you in like 2005, I believe it was.
Yeah, 2006. Yeah. So I graduated 2005 and literally went from high school to 1440, and that's where you and Mosley was there doing the radio show. Mm-hmm. And but see, here's the thing though, Mano, that as you're talking about on your mark, get set, go. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing about you that a lot of people don't know. Obviously, this is the first show, but what separates people from the on the mark and the go is to the tenacity. Mm-hmm. I'm a man of my word. You was gonna make sure of that, cause how I actually ended up hiring Manson was because Manson was like, Caleb, you said you was gonna get me in there. You said you was gonna give me an internship. You said you was gonna do this. I was like, yeah, man, no, I ain't forget about you. Just give me a say. Let me get everything in place. Stuff protocol. You know how that go. The next day, Caleb.
Yes.
You said you was gonna get me in there, man. What's going on, man? I got this degree, man. I'm trying to use this, man. And so, but that's the difference, though. That's what separates.
Well, see, that's what you call tenacity. That's what you call the intuitiveness.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do to get set.
Uh-huh.
Because you already mentioned the on your mark part, you mentioned the go part.
Yeah.
But the tenacity, the callbacks, the follow-ups, the hey, what about me? The letters. Those are the things that get you set. That shows people that you are serious about what it is that you're trying to do. And I used to tell people just like this. And I believe that it makes sense to everybody, because I think I've said this to you before. I can't help you fight if you're not even balling up your hands.
That's it.
How can I help you fight if you're not even balling up your hands? And then, and another good thing, remember when we went over to the Roberts Hotel? What was the other guy name other than Roberts who was up there? He was from...
Frazier.
Frazier.
George Frazier.
Yeah. And I remember a question I asked him. And I asked him, I said, hey man, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm trying to get people to believe in what it is that I'm trying to believe in, and which is this right here. And I said, well, how do you get people to, invest in you? He said, well, how much are you willing to invest in yourself? Mm-hmm. So I took that, and at first it didn't make sense. I was like, look, I ain't got no money.
Right.
But he made it plain. It was like, it's not always about the money. Mm-hmm. And people see you with your fist balled up, they'll help you fight. So I never looked at it from a different standpoint from there. So no matter what I've done, I've always tried to keep pressing towards the mark, because that's what this show is all about. It's on your mark, get set, go.
Well, that's a whole nother lane. I mean, we can take this show so many different ways, but the go part, how I even got to owning the radio station, and you ain't got that far in the story yet, but that's a part of the go part. When you get to that point of owning the radio station and trying to convince banks to give you loans and how much you putting in?
Right.
What are you investing? What track record do you have? What have you shown to prove that we can trust you with our money in order for you to do that? So that's a whole nother thing. But I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah, I was gonna get there, but there's no problem about jumping the gun here. You know, not on this show, because as long as it's viable and valuable information, sometimes we might be trying to hold information back for the later part of the show, and then we may just mess around and forget about it totally. So whenever you feel that this is a show that if you want to cut me short and say, hold on, let's stick a pin in it like Pastor do, and then we'll just go ahead and continue on with our show, continue on, and please be sure and make sure that when you do get information, make sure it's worth stopping. There you go. And it's gradual. And since you bring that up, when you were just an engineer there at 1440, and when you gave me my first opportunity as an intern, I knew that there were other people that were working there before I got there as just a co-host on my passenger on my past show, but when I became an intern, you were the GM. But it wasn't WMKM anymore. It was WDRJ, which was Communicom Corporations of America, CCA, which is located in Denver, Colorado, who actually bought the station. And normally when people buy stations on sight unseen, they normally get rid of everybody. But they trusted you and your vision. And you were 24 at the time.
Yeah, I don't even know if I was that old.
Yeah, right. You were the youngest general manager in the city of Detroit of a major radio
market
station,
Yeah.
of a major market with at least 1,000 watts. You see what I'm saying? And I understand that about you, because I used to be like, how can he do it? How can he do it? But you made sure that not only was your employees good, but your clients was good with you. Everybody loves you, Caleb. And because of that, everybody started to expect greatness from your co-workers or your employees, such as myself. Because you don't know how many times I've been down that basement when we try to record, and they be like, Caleb don't ever do it this way. Caleb don't do it that way.
Yeah.
I ain't Caleb.
Yeah.
I ain't Caleb. I ain't Caleb. How many of you have to keep saying that? Look, y'all want Caleb? He right above me, right up here.
Yeah.
I'm not Caleb.
Yeah. See, this is a reunion, because I hadn't seen Manson in forever. I'm glad I'm here, man, because that's a whole other thing. We can go on stuff like that. But yeah, that
Oh yeah, but them clients, man. That's one thing I can tell you.
But that was it. And the funny thing is, they wouldn't officially give me the title of general manager. Although they wouldn't officially give it to me, because one, I'm 20-something years old. They talking about, what you mean you the general manager of the station? So what they called me was the station manager.
Right.
Because they said that to be the general manager, it had to be certain legalities, and I had to sign off on documents and stuff. And whatever. I was running the station. And so what happened, there were a series of events that kind of led up to it. When they first bought the station, they originally said that they were I think what they said, they fired everybody. That's what happened. They got rid of everybody, and I tried to explain to them. I was like, this is Detroit. You can't run this station like you run in other markets. They were in Louisiana and Phoenix and some other markets. You can't run Detroit like that. And so single-handedly, one by one, I said, no, I was creating reasons of why we needed people. So I'm like, nah, you need this.
Well, I'm glad you created a reason for me to be there.
So I created all of these reasons of why we needed people, but the overall purpose was to make it great. And so the synergy that we had, they gave me the liberty at that point. Once they saw that everything was rolling, clients were rolling in, customers were happy, stations making money, after a certain point in time, they were just like, all right, let Caleb do whatever he wants to do. And that's when the interns came and the events came. And because everything was a wonderful journey. But it was all about everybody. I've never done anything to where it was just me.
Right.
It always had to be, okay, if you doing this, then what also are you doing to build your thing outside of this? What also are we doing together to make this better so that we can go to the next level? And so that was kind of where it was. So they trusted me because I handled their business first before handling my business. I see a lot of people make that mistake of trying to handle their business on the clock of somebody else. Can't do that. You got to handle your employer's business first.
Yep.
Then you come and handle your business.
Yeah, I can guarantee you on that one, because if you make sure that everything is settled on one end, then your back end will be straight. Everybody always look at the forward part, me. Especially if you got some we's. You see what I'm saying? If it's just you, then that's all you got to worry about. Like me right now, I don't have no we's. You see, it's just me. So therefore, I don't have to worry about that. But once these we's start coming around, I got to make sure that my we's are together. You know what I'm saying? Before me's is together.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you said something like that, man, and I'm glad you're on point with that. And when we come back from this little break real quick, you know, and we're going to talk about, you know, like his family, what he's doing now. And we done went back down memory lane, and we just want to catch up with Mr. Caleb Foster right here on Your Mark, Get Set, Go. We'll be right back after this. Hello, my name is Brother Manson McCann, a.k.a. Main OG, inviting you to watch my new show, On Your Mark, Get Set, Go, starting every Friday, April 30th at 7 p.m. on my YouTube channel. On this show, we will be highlighting some of the most gifted, talented, and professional individuals the city of Detroit has to offer. And they'll come here to share with you their journey on what got them where they are today. And I will share with you my wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as well. Starting every Friday, April 30th at 7 p.m. on my YouTube channel. On Your Mark, Get Set, Go, with yours truly, Main OG. Welcome back to On Your Mark, Get Set, Go. I am your host, Main OG. And just in case you just joined us, I have my good friend with me, Mr. Caleb Foster. We've just been discussing some of the things that we have been through down the years, as him being one of the youngest radio managers, the youngest GM, and now he's actually a radio station owner. So you tell me that this is not a person that has set themselves a mark, who has got himself ready, and he's already going. And not only does he just have a radio station, it's not even here, y'all. He drives all the way. Tell him where you drive to, man.
Cincinnati, well, Kentucky. The physical station is in Kentucky, right over the border of Ohio and Cincinnati. But the major market in radio, you got to go with your major city. So the major market is
Cincinnati. Okay,
So
it's WCBG.
WCBG. Yeah.
You got me doing that, man. Rest in peace,
Rest
Bobby.
in peace, Bobby G.
Yeah, rest in peace, Bobby.
That is.
That's Bobby G. I'm Main OG.
G.
Yeah,
Bobby
you already
G.
know it. That's right.
So, I don't know why you asked me to be on your show. I don't know why.
I knew you'd be
follow
great.
Rules for nothing.
Yeah, I knew you'd be great.
Yeah. So the physical station is in Kentucky. So we drive 4.5 hours. Before the pandemic, I was driving literally every other day. So I go on Monday, come back here Tuesday, go back Wednesday, like that. Since the pandemic slowed me down, and I set up the structure a little bit better so that I didn't have to drive as much. You know, there's no point if you got to do everything, then you ain't really building your business.
Well, I already know you probably know how to remote from home anyway.
Yeah,
I remember plenty of times when I was down at the radio station trying to swing some stuff around, and you wouldn't even call me. All I see is the cursor moving.
Yeah.
I just back up off of it like, Caleb at the crib doing his thing.
Yeah.
So I understand you kind of remote do it that way. That keeps a lot of mileage off of your cars as well. But you do have a daycare center that you run with your wife here, right?
Yeah. My wife owns a 24-hour daycare center in Southfield, Michigan. We've had that for 7 years now. 7 years. So yeah.
Well, give them the name.
But that's her thing. That's she
y'all
runs the
thing. That's y'all.
It's ours. But she runs the daycare. I don't know how to run a daycare. I can't deal with 60 kids. I got enough dealing with my own too.
And I was finna get to that.
Yeah.
I'm
Dealing with 60,
that.
that's a whole nother skill set that I don't have. I can do this audio thing. I can do that, but that's a different thing. So yeah, with Southfield, Michigan 25536, Losser. That's the address, right across about a block from Southfield High School. So yeah, that's where we are.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about. See, when I tell y'all that the people that I'm getting here on the On Your Mark Get Set Go show, not only are they setting themselves a mark, not only are they getting themselves ready to go, but they are local individuals who we don't know nothing about. This is not even an unsung moment. This is something that has actually been planned out. You know, you don't have no backstory like, you know, you had to go through 16 kilos of cocaine to get your stuff right.
No.
You had to drink a fifth of vodka every day because I was a part of your life. And I saw you when you and your wife first got together. I came to your wedding, you know, which was beautiful, you know what I'm saying? And the things of that nature. I was with you when you first had your children, and both of them.
Yeah.
And the one thing I can tell you about Caleb Jr. Now, first of all, this Caleb Foster Sr.
Yeah.
Let's get that right.
Whatever that means.
Right, not the junior.
Yeah.
But during the radio days, we used to get a lot of free tickets. We get free tickets to everything. And I remember one particular time we had tickets to the Universal Circus.
Yeah.
And he was about 3 then. And I thought me and little Caleb was cool as the other side of the pillow. But when I sat in front of that young man, he wasn't feeling me. He took his shoes off, put his feet up on the back of my chair like, what's happening, dog? All I smell is a 25-cent bag of corn chips, not the $1.50 boy. A quarter bag.
He like, this gonna get you attention.
Yeah.
You gonna have to move. You gonna have to
I'm like,
so I'm telling, take your foot down, take your foot
like,
there. He'll put it
no.
down and then
right back on up there. No, dog.
I was like,
No, you got to get up out of him. I'm like, Caleb.
yeah, he's a character all by himself.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But how are your children doing?
Good. He now is 10 and TikTok star and YouTube. He Drake and Jodeci and Tupac.
Drake
all in
and
one. I
Jodeci?
mean,
Tonight.
That boy, he's Jason Derulo mixed with
Whoever he is.
Kirk Franklin. That's him. Yeah.
Whoever he is.
Yeah,
That's-
so-
Well, I mean, that whoever you got on your playlist, though.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're a wide variety. You know, you have a wide range of what the things that it is that you do as well.
Yeah.
And like I said, you're a beautiful individual, man, as who you are as a whole, because I've seen people literally cry to you. I've cried to you. You see what I'm saying? And I've seen you, and I got you about 10 years for sure. And there have been times where you have let me know what was going on, and you've been my confidant. And for you to be so young and have been put in a position like that, to where you get a lot of people that's 40, 50, 60, 70, even 80 years old who look to you for your leadership and look to you for your guidance and trust your judgment. How does that make you feel as a young man?
You know, I never actually thought about it. I know that's the reality, but I never
Yes, it
actually
is.
thought about it because, you know, just being me. You know, like I said it earlier, my whole thing, I've never been a me person. You know, it's all how can we together grow? How can we bring the very best out of each other? That's what I always say to my spouse, especially when I'm talking to other couples, is your job is to bring out the very best in this other person. Now, if you bring out the very worst in this person, then that's not who you're supposed to be with.
Right.
Your job is to help this person bring the very best out of them that they can. Now, sometimes that happens in the worst of you coming out, but vice versa. It's got to be a team. Everybody's got to be working together. We all have to have that mindset of, I understand you at a rough patch. I understand you at a whatever, but you can do this. You can do this, you know. And so that, I guess that's just, I never really thought about it like that, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, you know, I've seen it. So and sometimes, I will be asking questions that may catch people off, guard sometime, because everybody don't see what they actually do. But that's a good thing, because if you notice everything you're doing, why are you really doing it?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if God has put you in a position to do things for other individuals and you don't even know you're doing it, then God has a true blessing for you somewhere down the line. And God has truly been blessing you.
Yes, he has.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I know what you have done openly. I don't know what you are as a husband privately. I don't know what you are as a father privately. But I know openly and in public, you epitomize the very meaning of what it means to be a man. And that covers the husband, that covers the father, that covers everything that we've always talked about, even in our days when we were coming up younger. And I'm almost 50 now, you're almost 40. So that go to show you, when I was in my 30s and you was in your 20s, we were looking for this. Now that we're in that area to where we are where we are, that's what makes us so special, man.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, man. You know what I'm saying? And you've
Thank
been
you,
my
man.
dog, man,
Yeah.
forever,
Yeah.
man. And when you get home, man, you make sure you tell the family I said what's happening, man. I miss them.
Yeah.
And if y'all still out there, man, I get on the lines with it if I have
Get
to.
on the
man.
lines with
Yeah,
it.
I get on the lines with it. if
And I
have to.
say this, and I said it at the beginning, man. I don't expect this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't expect just because we know each other
Right.
that you gonna have me on your show. Like, this is a for real honor.
Yeah, you got something
me.
to talk about though. See,
Yeah.
everybody that comes to this show is not just gonna be someone that just sits here. And I wanna make this plain. If you're gonna be on this show with Brother Manson McCann, AKA Mano G, you got to have something going on. I got something going on. This brother has something going on. I don't have time for the mumbo jumbo. You can talk all the stuff you want to talk. If you want to be that way, you can do that. But what this show here is for people who are on the mark, who are getting set, and who are ready to go. And I would like to thank my guest, Mr. Caleb Foster Sr., the owner of WCVG Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That's a radio station, and co-partners of Foster Daycare in Southfield. Bring your kids over there and give him a hard time. So thank you, my brother, and
Thank
I'll
you,
see
man.
you another time.
Appreciate
man.
it.
Thank you, brother. Love you, man.
Love you too, man.
That's right.
On your mark, get set, let's go. On your mark, get set, let's go.